There's a journey that's unfolding within you and outside of you. It's the journey of reconnecting and to getting to know your intuition or your inner voice again. You know, life is supposed to be meant to be lived amazingly and happy and not tolerating and not to be on cruise control, but full of adventure and not knowing what's happening next. And part of the journey is learning how to reconnect with that inner voice, to those feelings that we feel. And it's an opportunity for us to get curious. It's an opportunity to reconnect to our authentic self, the self that existed well before the programming and the beliefs that we were exposed to as children from our parents and our society and our medias. But this can be a very unnerving process because that inner voice inside of you requires for you to trust it. Oftentimes, we've quieted our voices down. As children, we feared that intuition would get in the way, so we suppressed it and we stayed quiet and we played small. So as we get into adulthood, we still suppressed it and we still play small and we bring it into our relationships and we bury our feelings and we bury the pain and we stay quiet and pretend that everything's okay, and slowly we get smaller and smaller, more quiet and we tolerate, and that inner voice gets fainter and quieter until it goes completely silent. But then when we are faced with a decision, often we can feel like we're not sure whether it's intuition or it's fear. Should I do this or should I do that? Should I move in this direction? And then we freeze and we're uncertain. So then we distract ourselves with drugs and alcohol and overspending and overeating and further perpetuating this silence. It's only when we actually claim our wholeness is when we can stop distracting ourselves and stop numbing those internal voices that want to get clearer and want to get out. So really this journey is about tuning in to yourself. When you start dating someone, you're like, I don't know. Is it fear that wants me to push this person away, or is there something I should know about? Or then you're like, oh damn, I must have self-sabotaged. That person was actually right for me. Or you marry someone and then years later you realize that they were wrong for you the entire time. Some of us are guilty of that. What we need to remember is that those decisions were made with information that we had at that time. We made decisions based on the evidence that we had, the information that we had at that moment, and stop labeling everything like it was a mistake. You know, we always have to come back to the truth of where we were at that time and be a little bit more forgiving. You know, learn that there is no right way or there is no right decision. We just need to grow and get better. And as we get better, we make better decisions. And when we make better decisions, we manifest better people. And we start to listen to that inner voice a little bit better. And then we can give ourselves more and more credit over time on what our intuition and the power of that intuition. And remember that when we act from that inner voice, we don't immediately get the results. Sometimes, you know, we have to wait a little bit and wait for life to unfold. And, you know, we don't have to wait for that perfect moment to make a particular decision or need certainty. And let's try to curb some of that fear and some of that self-sabotage and practice the listening of what is in our hearts and begin to trust ourselves a little bit more. And realizing that there are no mistakes. Baby steps, a little bit at a time. And a great way to begin to practice listening to your intuition is have fun with it. Enjoy with it. One of my best practices that I like using as a game is I listen to my intuition when I'm looking for a parking spot, when I pull into a mall or a parking lot. As I manifest a parking spot, I think, what is my gut saying? Should I go left here? Is it on the third row? Is it the fourth spot? And I love tuning into that and start practicing in those very simple decisions. We start to build confidence. And this way we can make our way into this world with less stress and more happiness. So we can be kind and be playful and not have to always make this right decision and feel so much pressure to do that and try to control and try to build a path. When if we just trust our inner intuition, that path will magically appear.